Hey, let me talk to you like someone who didn't expect a piece of audio gear to change how they think about sound, but it did. This is the WiiM Amp Ultra. This is for you if you've ever felt like good enough audio was just something you learned to tolerate. You're someone who notices clarity, detail, and the way music fills a room, not just how loud it gets. You've probably lived with gear that sounded fine, until one day you heard real sound and realized what you were missing. Before we go further, take a moment to check the current price and availability. Quality streaming amps like this don't sit still. Once people discover them, stock shifts quietly but quickly. Your upgrade moment wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. You played a favorite track and half expected it to sound familiar, and it didn't. The bass had weight, the voices had presence, the space between instruments felt alive. That tiny gap between good and wow is the difference that pushes you toward something better. Switching to this feels like removing a filter. Music doesn't just play, it happens. Details you never noticed before suddenly stand out. The room doesn't just have sound, it has presence. You don't think about your gear anymore because it just gets out of your way and lets the music live. You notice it most during actual use. Late night listening where every nuance feels intentional. Background music during work that keeps you focused instead of fading into white noise. Movie soundtracks that suddenly have texture and impact instead of being a vague blur. Even podcasts feel clearer and more engaging because voices feel real instead of compressed. What really defines the experience is balance. You don't chase loudness. You chase fidelity. The system doesn't spike and collapse. It stays composed across volume levels. The built-in RoomFit EQ feels like it learned your room before you did, shaping sound so everything feels natural instead of forced. If this is already on your radar, don't wait for the perfect moment. Pricing and availability on gear this capable tend to shift quietly, and hesitation rarely pays off in hindsight. You might wonder if this is more than you need. But once you experience calm, detailed, room-filling sound that feels alive instead of flat, that doubt dissolves. You realize you weren't chasing specs, you were chasing connection. One thing that surprises most people is how effortless it feels. You don't wrestle with settings. You don't chase volume. You just listen, and it responds. Music feels richer and cleaner, rooms sound more alive and balanced, voices feel present, not compressed, sessions stay comfortable and engaging. You trust what you hear without thinking, not built for extreme audiophile tinkering. Premium capability reflects in cost eventually, the comparison loop collapses. You stop refreshing specs because the real question is simple: do you want better sound now, or later? And deep down you already know the answer. Check the current price and availability, and make the choice while it still feels obvious. Don't let this turn into one of those upgrades you think about every time your old system feels dull or distant.